Okay, we're live.
So
We're
the,
live
so the
again.
English to Hebrew is becoming to be quite honest more challenging for me. But I'm still I have a lot of mistakes today, that's for sure. But that's how to learn, I guess. Or
Well, I'll
I
tell
think
you that
it's learn.
that it is very difficult, and it's going to get more difficult.
Yeah,
But again, his goal is to prepare you to go into his composition textbook. So his
no,
composition textbook starts with the first exercise, 2 pages, 2 pages of English that you need to
yeah, I
translate
see
into
that.
Hebrew.
Yeah, I was wondering. I don't know if this is a good idea or bad idea, but with the English to Hebrew translation moving forward, I can glance at it. I was wondering if we can divvy up the exercise a little bit because I mean, you talk about pages and pages of translation of English to to Hebrew.
So break it up so that it's like 1A, 1B,
Yeah,
1C.
yeah, kind of thing, because it's becoming really a lot more, at least for me. I don't know about you, Gavin, but the English to Hebrew translation is becoming uh, more time consuming, that's for sure, and which I enjoy, but it's slightly more challenging. I'm not imposing an idea, but uh, if we divvy that up a little bit, I think we'll have more time to kind of dive into it and try to prepare a bit more before the class. But again, it's just an idea, but you guys, whatever you
So
guys
what if
think.
we like this one for example? We broke it like this. 1A is this one, and 1B is this one.
Something
Oh,
like that. Like,
you're not seeing
no, I don't
what
see
I'm looking at.
what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. Like the first, yeah,
See the first one here, I broke into 2 pieces just now. 1A and
yeah.
1B instead of one being a huge one, and just the really long ones break into pieces. What do you think about that?
We could do that.
All right.
Or yeah, whatever. We'll see. Okay.
It might help.
I think, I
We'll see
think,
how it
yeah, I
goes.
think, I think the way to learn is just kind of dive into it and see what happens.
Yeah. Now the composition textbook really is exaggeratingly long. That's for sure.
uh,
Um, So let's dive into this one. Here we go. English to Hebrew number 1A. I've broken that, like I just said, right now into 2 pieces. So David saw that the Lord had given to him salvation and that his enemy had fallen to the ground, dead before him. And he took his sword and cut off his head with it. Obviously, talking about the story of David and Goliath. So I want to use about consecutive. So I'm going to say Vayar. Vayar David. Ki Natan Adonai. After ki and asher and all of those subordinating particles, we're going to put the verb first. Verb first. Verb first. Yeah, that's inversion. Subject verb inversion. Ki Natan Adonai. Ki Natan lo Adonai. The lo is eclitic, so it joins together with the verb. Ki Natan lo Adonai Yeshua. Yeshua, or the Yeshua could also be started with a tav. Shua. Shua and Yeshua are the same word. Vechi, and that, had fallen. Nafal oivav. Oivo. Nafal oivo. His enemy had fallen. Outsa, to the ground. Outsa. Good grief. To the
not
ground.
Niflu,
Dead.
Niflu. Is it Niflu Artsa or Nifula?
Because I'm going to
Is it,
take enemy as singular, and it's because it's
ah,
Goliath.
okay.
Met lefanav, lefanav, before him. And he took Vaikach et Harbo, took his sword, Vaichrot ito et Rosho.
Mm.
The ito, it could be bo. Vaichrot bo et Rosho, or Vaichrot ito. But Herev is actually feminine, so I'm going to say ita. Okay, so Vayar. Vayar David, this is the subject. Vayar David, ki Natan lo Adonai תשועה,
Mhm.
תשועה. וכי נפל אויבו. אוי, I can't type. אויבו. אויב, אויבו. ארצה. Oyev is enemy, right? אויבו. מת לפניו. ויקח. Okay, the kuf has dagesh because it's the lamed, it's been assimilated. Et harbo, his sword, cherev, harbo. Vayichrot. Ita or ba. We can do either one. Ba. Right? Et or
Sure.
sure. Okay?
Mhm.
Any disagreements? Something you would write differently?
As I view mine here, it's almost close to yours. Yeah, sure. Mhm.
Okay. Who wants to take 1B?
I
When
can-
we have the big long ones like that, I'll try to break them apart so it'll be easier to tackle them.
Okay, so why don't you? I just do this one. So I'm gonna just paste, and you. Okay, gonna work on the fonts.
All right, so let's see. We're going to make it, I think it was 14? No, 16. So size 16 non-bold. See that the word lo. What did God give him? God gave him grace, favor, and the Lord gave him grace in the eyes of the people. Vayiten lo Adonai. Vayiten lo. Because again, this lo is clitic. You know what clitic means?
Mm-mm.
No. A clitic is a small word that loses its emphasis and basically attaches to another word.
Okay. Okay.
So you wouldn't say generally Vayiten Adonai lo. You say Vayiten lo Adonai, and the word lo is like attached in your pronunciation to the word Vayiten.
Mhm.
This is really common in Greek, where you have, like in clitics, you have su and mu, all the words that are like mine, they're possessive. You can't, the accent shifts off of those words completely onto the other word that's in front of it. Adelphos, adelphosmu. So you've got my brother. Hold on. That's not Greek. Where's Greek? So adelphos wants to have the accent on the end like this. But if you put any other word after it, you're going to say like adelphosemon, right? The accent shifts to grav. But if you use an enclitic after it, then the accent is adelphoso, not adelphosimon. Like the stress is put on the word. So this word vaitenlo, it has to go together. Vaitenlo Adonai chen be'enei ha'am. And they called in one voice, not vayomru, they said, but they called.
So it's like a suffix, except it's not actually attached to the preceding verb. Got it.
And so many times in the Masoretic text, to emphasize that it's clitic, they add the dagesh to the lamed. The
Okay.
dagesh it's saying, don't say this on its own, it's attached to the word in front of it. So vayikreu, they
Okay.
cried,
Okay.
or they called.
Sure. Mhm.
And then the vocalization here, the kol. So the vocalization of vayikreu, va with dagesh, yikreu.
Oh.
And we'll take it out of parentheses because it's the form we're supposed to be using. Vayikreu bekol echad, echad, one voice. Vayomru, and then we have vayomru.
Okay.
They called with one voice, and they said, Vayomeru, behold, hine, David is greatest. Say the great one. So kavod is glory, honor. So gadol, and we're going to say ha gadol.
Okay.
Ha gadol, the great one. The great one from all the warriors of Israel.
Mhm.
So not from, but be. Bechol,
Okay, sure.
bechol giborei Israel. Okay, Hine David Gadol, Hagadol, the big one, the big one among, in. Hagadol bechol giborei Israel. Okay, and Saul didn't like that. So, and the thing was very bad in the eyes of Saul. So, and it was, is Vaihi. Vaihi, and it was. Vaihi, Hadavar, Ra בעיני שאול, רע מאוד. הדבר היה, ויהי הדבר רע מאוד בעיני שאול. Yeah. If it were בעיני or בעיניך or just without Shaul, then the me'od could be dropped at the end but me'od doesn't want to be that far separated, so that it's not be'enei Shaul me'od. It's less common for it to be that far away. So it's vayhi davar ra me'od be'enei Shaul. Yeah.
This was very helpful actually, because now we can follow this. Okay. So I think when we divide the sentence a little bit shorter, especially
I'll try to do that
Hebrew,
in the future.
It's a little bit more manageable. That's why, at least for me.
Yeah, I can totally understand. All right, who wants to do number 2?
Am I next?
Which is actually number 3. Yeah, why don't you go for it?
Okay. So I'll do Ayar. Let me see if I can figure out my keyboard again.
That anonymous Kraken is so funny.
I don't know how to change it. I'm trying to change it. I can't
Are
figure it out.
you signed in to Google?
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm signed in.
I don't know why it does it.
I'm going to have to YouTube it.
Yeah, like what is anonymous Kraken?
Yeah.
Vayar Yitzchak Ki. Remember Ki and Asher and all of these subordinators, they want to invert subject verb. So lo Ki Esav beno omed lefanav, ela Ki omed lefanav Esav beno. Evanta lama? You understand why?
No, would you explain it again?
The word ki is a subordinator. It makes the basically Esav beno amad lefanav, like he was standing before him. Esav was standing before him. But when you subordinate that sentence into another sentence, the verb jumps forward. It happens with ki and asher and other subordinating clauses, lema'an, whatever. Vayar Yitzchak ki omed lefanav Esav beno, or amad lefanav, whichever you could say. Omed, amad, doesn't matter. But the verb the verb has to follow ki. If you put anything else there, then it's going to be necessarily emphatic.
So
and it's very rare.
Asher would do the same thing, Vayira, Yitzhak, Asher, Omed.
Yeah.
Okay. Sort of.
I don't know why that is, but that's just the reality.
Okay.
You should look for that in your reading. Like, try to see instances of ki that are not followed by the verb.
And they'll be followed.
You might find it with participles. Maybe not. Ki Adonai Yodea. Ki Yodea Adonai. Ki Yada Adonai. I don't know. Like it just feels strange to have it there. וירא יצחק כי עומד לפניו עשיו בנו. And he said unto him. Do you want me to leave the pointing undone so you'll go back and do it?
I think that you'll probably have to end up doing it just because my pointing is so bad, but I figure I'll fill in what I know, maybe.
ויאמר אליו, הנה.
Hold that, brother.
Probably going to say instead of your brother Jacob, you're going to say Jacob, your brother.
Okay.
For some reason in Hebrew, we say David HaMelech much more frequently than we say HaMelech David. Not Ahicha, but Achicha. Not Eve, but Cha. Your brother.
Your brother. Achicha.
And
then he came.
Hine Yaakov Achicha ba.
Oops. Sorry. Ba.
But it's Kamatz.
Oh, Kamatz. Okay. So, is there a rule with Kamatz and Patach usage? Or is it just
that's wrong in coding
that you have to learn?
With the aleph that's quiescent. Sorry, quiescent aleph will almost always have Kamatz.
Okay.
It happens with hey, like as a vowel letter. Like, think of bara. The normal vowel pattern is like malach. But if it has hey and aleph, it becomes kamatz. So gava, not gava, because gava is hey mapik. So this means like got tall, became high. But bana is a vowel letter on the end. It's actually the root is a yod. So bana is kamatz.
Kamatz. Okay. So that's to do with localization of the end.
Yeah. Behold, thy brother Jacob came. Hine Yaakov achicha ba. And he took thy blessings instead of thee.
Yeah.
Vaikach et your blessings. So if it's echa, wouldn't it have the yod?
Oh yeah, because it's plural. That's the reason for the yod, right? It's plural. Okay.
Birchotai, birchotecha.
Ticha, tachatecha.
Isn't it tachtecha? Tachtecha? Tachtai, tachti, tachtai, tachtecha. Tachtaich, tachtech. Good question. Let's look that one up because that's a problematic thing. No, I'm looking at this one. Okay, so let's see. Tachtecha. 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 Can you see it?
Yeah. Tachtecha.
Yeah.
Tachtecha. Tachtecha. Is there a dagesh there?
I didn't memorize that. Yes, there is. Tachtecha. יעקב אחיך בא ויקח את ברכותיך תחתיך. In modern Hebrew, the way we say this is instead of תחתיך, we say במקומך.
Like in the place of. In your
Mhm.
Okay.
And I knew not that he was thy brother. V'lo yadati ki achicha hu. Remember that copula wants to be at the end of the sentence.
Yes. Ki achicha hu. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's two hurdles to cross here: translating to Hebrew and reading the King James version.
Oh, come on. Oops.
Ki achicha hu. Yeah. V'lo yadati ki achicha hu. Yeah. That's beautiful Hebrew. Ki achicha hu.
I like
All
the,
right, number 3.
I like the King James. It's the most poetic, I think.
Oh, I just love poetry.
You're both against poetry. But
You know, it's funny because I enjoy reading the King James, but I don't enjoy poetry at all. It doesn't feel poetic to me. It just feels like that's how I learned the Bible when I was a kid, you know?
King James.
Number 3, I think, is Santana, yeah?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Quick question: Thou hast given.
He's using the word given in English. He means put,
Has put has
which
seen?
is the same. It's the word given.
or Natan.
Natata. Mm-hmm. It's funny because in Hebrew we mention things being put or given into the heart, but in Greek they speak of things being thrown or cast. They use the word balen, balen, to cast or to throw. So they would say that the goddess cast fear into their hearts.
Isn't to memorize Sam Lev, to put in the heart? In modern
It doesn't mean memorize, it means to notice.
to notice.
To
Do I start
notice or
this
pay
with like the
attention.
pronoun or like a vekata or vaito?
I would just say natata.
All right.
Oh, ata natata.
Yeah. Right? Because thou, you.
You don't need to, but you can.
Okay. No. I'll try to put the vowels in there. Nah.
Mhm. I see a Colton peeking through the window. I see a Colton. There he is.
Here I am.
Here I am.
Colton,
Rock me like a hurricane. Yeah, so natata, remember, is short for natanta. Natanta. And so that noon has to go somewhere. Natanta becomes natata. So it goes into the tough as an assimilation, a dagesh.
It goes into the noon or into the top?
The noon goes into the tough.
Oh, yeah. That was. Did I do it right?
So you're missing the dagesh in the tough.
At the end?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, it goes into the final one. Okay.
Yes. Because it's natanta, and that noon is assimilated into it.
Ah. I put
You
it-
do hear people, by the way, especially people from the area of the Galilee and Tiberias today, who say natanti, natanti, natanta. You hear it. I've heard it, and it shocks me every time. But they say it. They say ma natantali, ma natantali. What did you give me? But there are also people that say instead of shavar, hu shavar et hayad, they say hu shabar et hayad, shabar, instead of shavar. People say a lot of strange things. So thy fear is yir'ah, yir'atcha, yir'atcha. And we should use et, even though the Psalms are not going to use et, with the familiarity that we have. Natata et yiratcha, yiratcha belibi.
Oh yeah.
Natata et yiratcha belibi.
Thy is you. Your.
Thy is your.
Oh.
It means fear of you.
Okay.
Or it could mean your fear, like God is afraid. He's a subjective genitive. God is afraid, and he put that fear in my heart. God, don't be afraid of the dark. No, I will give my fear to you. No, you are afraid of the dark. No, that's obviously not what it means. Natata et yiratcha b'libi, Adonai, and my enemies shall see that in thee I have trusted. Because we're dealing with poetic forms here, it's probably not going to be oivai. It's probably going to be sarai.
Oh. Sarai.
The poetic form is tsarim, sarai.
Like Sarah from distress. Is that where it comes from?
Yeah. It's people that oppress me or give me distress. They are my enemies.
Remember the Sade. Hold on. There we go. Sarai,
That's another thing about poetry that we didn't mention is that they use some different lexical roots a lot of times. Like they'll say one word that means a lion and then another word that means a lion, or they'll use aryeh and then they'll use kfir, like a young lion.
Yeah. James Kugel, his thing is always like the song to repeat stuff. The words that they use, the near synonyms, are meant to.
So they could use. I'm sorry, Colton, you're cutting out, buddy. We can't hear you. I hope it's not me. No, I don't think it is. So they will use like the word. Colton, you're back. They'll use like the word savav, meaning make a circle, surround, and they'll use the word hikif, make a circle, surround. They use words that mean basically the same thing, and they put them in parallel lines. So what comes to mind is svavuni, like they surrounded me, in Psalm chapter 22. That's really to me, Psalm 22 is exemplary for this. That's not yes.
This King James version is killing me. All right, so see that in the what?
Thee is you.
In you?
Yeah, singular. It's the singular.
They distinguish between thou and you. Thou is singular, and you is plural.
How would I say that then? How would I write that in Hebrew? That in you.
Ki v'cha.
So it's not a shed?
Ki. Yeah, you use ki. V'cha.
Sarai yir'u. But we need conjunction, so we're going to say ve.
Ki v'cha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ki what?
So the that you have in the word that in the sentence that you're writing it's not a condition. It's not a relative that he shall
Mhm.
see that which I did or whatever. He will see that. He will see it.
He will see that this is true. He will see
Yeah.
that I went. He will see that I ate. And that is not that. It's just a subordination.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it
Yeah,
uses
that's
T.
the word. That's the word I was looking for.
So it uses
Subordination.
T. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
וצרי יראו כי בך בטחתי, that I've trusted in you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. בטחתי. לבטוח. To trust. And technically, this batachti is going to have kamatz in the second syllable because it's in pause. It's at the end of the verse.
I'm sorry, what'd you say about the batachti?
This syllable here is going to be in pause. Okay? So it's kamatz.
Oh.
The
Okay.
patach is linked into kamatz in pause. Yep. נתת את יראתך בליבי, אדוני, וצרי יראו כי בך בטחתי. When we have וצרי יראו, we could also do it as a verb consecutive, וראו צרי. וראו, and they will see. וראו צרי.
Okay.
Even in poetry, we'll see that. Okay?
This is brutal.
Brilliant. Not so brutal. It's beautiful.
No, I love it. It's just completely different from anything I've ever done.
Did we forget
Good.
the enemies?
Huh?
Wait, my enemies? Wait,
My enemies, Sarai.
Sarai. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Oivai, Sarai. Sarai is used more in poetry.
Sarah.
So let's look real quick at Psalm 22 that we have here. Sarah, trouble. Okay. Svavuni parim rabim. Avirei vashan kitruni. פצו עלי פיהם, אריה טורף ושואג. כמים נשפכתי והתפרדו כל עצמותיי. היה ליבי בלה בלה בלה. Let's see. כי סבבוני כלבים, עדת מרעים הקיפוני, כארי ידיי ורגליי. So סבבוני, they surrounded me. הקיפוני, they surrounded me. It's two different words, meaning the same thing. That's how poetry works. It's a diversity of lexical strength because the poet is showing off that he knows a lot of words. Yeah, it's what they do in English too, right? They are showing off with their big words.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Colton, I think you're number 4, right?
Am I 4? There's 5 of us.
Well, it's where you divided number 1 into 2 parts.
Oh, you did. You split 1 into 2. I saw that a minute ago.
Yeah. Well, I can see his words. I can see
Sorry.
Adonai.
Yeah, sorry. The Lord spoke
right.
unto Joshua,
Adonai.
and he gave unto
spoke.
Yeah.
You say אני אומר עברית, אני מדבר עברית. וידבר.
Sorry, Maya. The Lord spoke unto Joshua.
We talked about clitics a few minutes ago with the use of Vaitenlo.
Okay. Sorry. Vayomer.
But we got to say to Joshua. וידבר אדוני אל יהושע.
Yeah.
No, you didn't say El Yoshua. וידבר אדוני אל יהושע,
Oh.
ויאמר לו.
Sorry. Wrong. Oh, God.
Mhm. The reason I mentioned in clitics again was because if it were like Elav instead of El Yoshua, we would expect it to be here. Vayidaber Elav Adonai as a clitic.
Okay.
But it could be Vayidaber Alehem Adonai or Vayidaber Adonai Alehem because Alehem is a heavy one.
Mhm.
It's heavy. Elav is light. It can easily be attached. Vayidaber Elav Adonai. Vayidaber Adonai Alehem. It's heavier. So it's often
Important. A very good
separated.
point.
Yeah.
Good point. Thank you.
Because it's hard to make a heavy phrase. It's hard to take a heavy phrase and make it clitic so that it loses its stress and is joined to another word because it's heavy. It wants its own stress.
Yeah.
וידבר אדוני אל יהושע ויאמר אליו. This is the land. This is the land. Zot haaretz. Zot haaretz. Haaretz azot is this land.
Land, yeah.
I wrote it Haaretz Zot. Is that correct? Or is it
It
Zot
wants-
Haaretz?
Torah zot. Zot Torah. It likes to be before it.
Before
Zot
it.
haaretz ze haish. This is the man.
Okay.
Eke homo. Eke homo. This is the man. Behold the man. Which comes from. Where does Eke homo come from? You know this?
I spoke to Josh from
I know that there's a book named that
August.
Yes.
somewhere.
By whom?
You know,
Is it Hume? Oh,
Hmm.
never.
Well, the phrase
See.
comes from the trial of Jesus, where he's put before the people, and he says, "This, behold the man," and then he gives them the choice between him and Barabbas. So in the Vulgate it says "Ecce homo," behold the man. But Friedrich Nietzsche stole the phrase, and he wrote a book called "Ecce homo." And I think the first section of that book was called "Why I Write Such Good Books." Yeah. He was a funny guy. Zot haaretz asher natati laAvraham ulezar'o ad olam. This is the land secretary. Yes. Perfect. Not vi lezar'o, but u lezar'o. Because remember the rule before Shva. All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I knew that wasn't
Number
right,
five.
but I could
I
not
think
think of it.
Mm-hmm. So I did number 1A, so I'll do this one. The sons of Jacob stood before Pharaoh, and they said unto him, Behold, we are men of cattle. And now, if thy servants have found grace in thine eyes, give to us, we pray thee, a place in the land, and we will dwell there in peace. So I'm going to start with about consecutive, because I want to. Vayamdu v'nei Yaakov lifnei Paro. Vayomeru Elav. They said to him, Hine. Okay, we are is again that delayed copula. Men of cattle are we. We are men of cattle. Men of cattle are we. That's anshe bakar anachnu. Okay, anachnu is that copula that's at the end, just like we say, ishtecha hi. She is your wife. Your wife is she. Okay,
What is
so
that
we're
called,
delaying
you
the
said?
copula.
It's delayed. Oh, delayed copula. Okay.
Hine anshe bakar anachnu. Ve'ata, and now, which we say in modern Hebrew, ve'achshav. Ve'ata, im matz'u avdecha chen be'inecha Tna lanu. We're going to use the long imperative. Ten lanu. Tna lanu. Na lanu na. Makom ba'aretz. A place in the land. Makom ba'aretz. Yashavnu sham v'shalom. Okay, you agree?
I wrote na instead of na by the end, like na. Does that make sense?
No. Na means if. You could say namatsanu.
That's exactly what I wrote. Namatsanu.
That's very common. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pointing things incorrectly because I'm looking at my small screen instead of the big one. Lifnei faro vayom meru elav. You will forgive me for not using meteg in that one.
Im namatz.
Hine.
We did not find. Oh, im. If okay, I see it. Im namatsanu.
No. Where is this? 194? Yes. Sometimes I forget the number combination of a vowel and I'm like, where is it? Because I'm using numbers. Im matsano. Im matsano is if we found, but now it's third person. Im matseu. This is because even though they mean if we have found favor in your eyes, what they change it to the third person and they say if your servants have found. Right? By the way, I have blood tests in the morning, so I'm only drinking water. And this also means that I'm probably going to be up all night. So if anyone wants to continue on with me and just read some Hebrew, then you are welcome to.
I wish.
You have what to get to?
My daughter, she's like a little over a month.
Must be nice to have a child.
My first child. Yep, 41.
Wow. But we're reading in Kohelet, the book of Ecclesiastes, and he talks about, in the chapter that we're reading today, about the idea of somebody not having an heir or living a solitary life, not having a brother or a son. And it really touched base with me when I was reading Kohelet this week. Because it's like he has all this work that he does, but he doesn't have anyone to share it with or to give it to. And I'm like, wow, that's me. I worked so hard and it's all going to disappear when I die. Hevel.
How old are you?
Havalim. 44.
Yeah.
My
child
mortality is well in front of my eyes.
I got a little brother that's like 16 or 17 or something. You're good.
Yeah. No, I have a brother, but all my family's in the States. So, all right. The man. This is Adele.
Yeah.
The man came forth. Yeah. Vayetze ha'ish. Yeah. From the midst of the trees. Mitoch haitzim. Eitzim. It wants to be plural. You want to change it?
Yeah, sure.
Mitoch haitzim. Yeah. Yep. Mitoch haitzim. So technically, this has meteg because it's distant from the tone, right? Which there he was hidden. Asher nistar sham. Because we need which there. So we need the word there. Sham. אשר נסתר שם,
Awesome.
or I don't like נסתר so much as the התפעל. Like הסתתר.
Mustatir.
Nistar
Okay.
feels like something that's hidden, but istater is the
He hid
activity.
himself.
'Cause remember, the nifal is often used like an adjective. So
Okay.
you would say sefer nistar, a hidden book. Ish nistar, a hidden person. But as a verb, it's more common to use with the hitpael. So histater.
Is it ever used that way in Tanakh?
Yeah, you can say I hide myself in the shadow of God or something. Nistarti in the nifal. But notice that nistarti has an ending on it. It's obviously a verb. But nistar, it feels more like an adjective. But you could say hu nistar ben aitzim, but it's more likely to say vaistater ben aitzim. Vaistater. He hid himself. All right. He was hidden, and he said unto the Lord, Vayomer El Adonai. El has makaf and short vowel. Because El with long vowel is a god, a deity.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Okay, sure.
So it's really very, very uncommon for that not to be joined to the word after it. And then the vowel shortens because it's a close syllable. Okay. The woman which thou hast given to me, Aisha asher natatali.
Natatali. Yeah.
Natatali. Aisha asher natatali. In the Bible, it actually doesn't say li, it says imadi, that you put with me. Aisha asher natata imadi, the woman you put with me.
Yeah.
He took from the fruit. He lakha, lo lakacht, lakha.
Okay.
He lakha from the fruit of the tree, mipri ha'etz. And she, we don't need to repeat the she. But we're going to say vatitenli. Because the verb consecutive for, remember the future, the future for you will do it and she will do it are the same. Vatitenli. Yeah. So that gets us the past tense, but the she here is emphatic. She gave me from the fruit of the tree, or she took from the fruit of the tree and she gave me.
Yeah. I wanted to make that an clitic, but it's in pause probably, so it wouldn't make much sense, huh?
Vatitenli.
Yeah.
But I would still say it that way. But probably it would be joined together. I don't know. Maybe like that.
That's yeah. Thank you. That's very helpful. Appreciate it, Jason.
Either way,
yeah, you can
I'm just
find it this way.
splitting
Find it
hairs.
that way.
I'm
You're
just
just a
splitting
heretic.
hairs. Yeah.
Heretic splitting hairs.
Splitting hair, Jason hair.
All right, we're obviously not going to get through all these, but
if you ever start a podcast, that's what you should call it.
the heretics.
Or
The
splitting hairs.
heretics call it splitting hairs. I like that. Heretics. I liked it.
The heretics is your fan base. The heretics are your fan base.
Yeah.
My brain is all over the place.
The first episode.
So Galen is number 7, yeah?
Yeah, the
The
first
first episode would be
why I am so good at Hebrew.
Move to Israel and live there for 17 years, and then you'll be almost fluent. Yeah.
Okay.
So number 7. Let's try to get as much as we've got 5 minutes. I'll go ahead and open Zoom.
I don't know if the Katal form of to bear, is it
Ah. You want the Vaiktol?
No, just the plain.
Yalda.
Okay.
Yeah, Rachel Yalda. The Vakatal is Vateled. I will tell you that most Israelis do not know Vav consecutive forms. If you like, and you hear them, like there's a Step Bible, a website, stepbible.com. No, not Step Bible. There's another website. It's from comeandhear.com, I think it's called, and they have a nice audio recording of Bible.io. Bible.io is a website, and they have audio recordings of Hebrew and all kinds of languages of the Bible, but they often mispronounce the Vav consecutive forms because they put the accent in the wrong places, and it ends up like instead of saying Vayakom, they say Vayakam. Things like that. Because they're modern Hebrew speakers reading biblical text, they don't know the difference. Rachel Yalda Ben. Vateled Rachel Ben. And they called his name Vaikreu et Shmo. Get over there and get involved. Rachel. That moth disappeared, by the way. I don't know where it went. Probably in my bed. Yalda Ben Vayikra Vaitreu et Shmo Yosef Ki Amru. Ki Amru. Oh, what happened? Ki Amru. The Lord will give to thee another son. Adonai yiten lach. Okay, you could say acher, another one, but normally if you mean an additional one, another one, you say nosaf.
Which is where the name comes from, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because the name Yosef, you'd say Adonai yiten lach ben nosaf. Nosaf has a ring like Yosef.
Like
Nosaf, Yosef. Or you could say, I think it would probably make better sense, Adonai Yosef lach ben. Yeah? Yosef is to give another one, to add.
To add, okay.
Is that?
So it's less.
Adonai Yosef lach ben.
That is like more to give, whereas the Yosef is to add. A bit more.
Yosef is to add or to give another one. Like more, not different. The word acher means other, like a different one. Like not this one, but a different one. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of blurry, the distinction between acher and nosaf. But there we have the distinction in Greek between alos, another one, and heteros, another one of a different kind. So heteros it's where we get the word heterosexual, means of the different, right? Different mean another one, a different one, not the same. But alos, like they say that if somebody hands you an apple and you say alos, they will give you another apple. But if you say heteros, they may give you an orange. You know? And so acher would be a different one. Like if you have an apple, they're going to give you an orange. But nosaf is another one. Like apple, they'll give you another apple. Yeah.
Alos, hetero, acher. Okay.
You guys are going to learn Greek.
Actually, next year I'm
it's-
taking Arabic. I'm going to learn Arabic next.
Well, Adele is a fluent Arabic speaker from Egypt, so he'll be able to assist you. I really appreciate your attention and your time, guys, but we need to cut because I've got to run over to Kohelet along with Adele.
All right. Well,
So
thank you. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
always. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right.